So today I'm going to make based pizza sauce, and I think I will yap a little bit about sensationalism because of the last stuff I saw on the internet. And yeah, let's get started. So first things first, pizza sauce, the important stuff. What do you need? A whole onion, one little garlic thingy, some mashed up tomato sauce, so already in liquid form, a little bit of olive oil. I will take olive oil out of my garlic storage thingy, and some purized tomato sauce as well. So double tomato sauce. I really don't know what you call it in English, but it's high concentrated tomato paste, and that's just normal tomato paste. So yeah, let's get started. You ever saw that kind of stuff? It's the best kitchen utility thingy you can buy for money. It makes chopping everything so much easier. So really recommend that you get yourself one of this. It's just a little plastic container with a whirly thingy on it where some blades are attached. Then you will close it up, pull on the string, and everything gets chopped up which is in there. So mine is from Tefal, but I think there are so many options around because it's a genius idea. Okay, let's get to peeling and chopping. So I've seen that there is a little controversy going on right now. Because Japan changes, and oh my god, there are so many graffitis around, and someone is dumping his trash on the side, and basically the whole topic of socialism showing stuff worse than they are in reality. And I was at one point in my life, I was at that stage as well, that I would believe people on the internet how bad the world is, especially when you're watching some German YouTube. They are always talking about Germany is changing as well, and everything is so bad, and you have to fear to be outside. Big cities are gone, blah blah blah. Yep. And at one point in time I believed them with all of their opinions. That was back last year when I was constantly online and watching YouTube. But I was fed up with the whole negativity and overall the sensationalism, so to say. So one thing I know is it gets the clicks. So when you have a rage baity title and a thumbnail people will click the whole thing and will watch through it. But yeah, I was fed up with all of that and just stopped watching YouTube all day, every day, and really curated my algorithm. And I was thinking to myself, so I'm not always online all the time. I am outside for more or less 4 hours every day. So just being outside with Ozone, and it got more in the last year because I stopped watching YouTube when the sun is shining. So I basically just turn on YouTube and the TV when it's dark outside. And I couldn't see what people were talking about. So everybody was always yapping about that Germany is done and it gets so dangerous and there's this and that and the big cities are not safe anymore and yata yata yata. But I couldn't put my mind behind it because when I'm outside, nothing is happening. And to be honest, nothing is happening for round about 10 years. So it's basically just a normal, that's a bit tough to say, a normal crime rate, but you have always crime everywhere. So that's not a special thing and that will not rise or whatever. It's more or less sensationalism what's behind all of that. People try to get their clicks on the internet, and especially bad things that click well, or bad news, because everyone wants to live in fear. And when there's one thing I learned about, or what I learned on my minimalistic journey, is that life is for the main part just boring, and you have to be fine with the boring stuff. Make the boring stuff fun for yourself. Yeah, everything fine and chopped. Best kitchen device you can get for money. Not gonna lie, best thing. So let's turn on the heat. So yeah, one thing I learned when I got into minimalism more and more, that basically life is really just boring, and you have to make the boring activities more fun for yourself. And we want, as a human, that there's stuff going on. So because in itself life is just a boring thing to do. And yeah, I get it. I was there, I've been there with sensationalism, that I would watch stuff on the internet and would my reality would change. I would think the world was evil, everything was bad, but at the end of the day, I got outside. I was at the big city the other day, and let me tell you, people aren't that bad. There is not. I always felt safe, so there was really not a thing I was worrying about. And when I'm here in my local area, there's nothing happen. Everything stays the same. So once in a while you see police driving by making some controls, but at the end of the day there was never such trouble here. So I can remember one event that was happening years ago around Christmas time. There were police around because there were people breaking into homes, which is quite a normal again. So I hate to say that crime is normal, but at the end of the day, crime always happens. And especially around Christmas time, that people will be on vacation, Christmas vacation, and it happens that people that's the main season for the thieves. So I heard always stories about people got broken into their houses, and it's always around Christmas time when they are not around, when people have stocked up on gifts and whatever. So it always happens on Christmas time. So it really isn't that special. I mean, it's sad in itself that there are people who think they need to break into houses, but at the end of the day it was always the same thing since my childhood. So the first thing I remembered, or it was early on when I was like 10 years old. I'm now in my 30s, and every year I hear a story, around December, Christmas time, they broke into our house, they broke there, that is this. Turn down the heat a little bit. Now salt and pepper. So back to the pizza sauce for a moment. Put the onions and the garlic into the pot with some oil, some salt over it, some pepper over it for the taste. And then just glaze it till the onions get glassy. Woo! That are strong onions, that are good onions. Okay, nice. So let's sit it there. I will get the high concentrated tomato sauce out and just wait for a little bit. But yeah, that's a common thing, that people will break into your house, and that was the only stuff years ago I heard in my area, that there was that kind of crime going on. And I get it that the sensationalism will get your clicks on the internet, but I think people start to think that the world is eviler or more evil than it is in reality. And I'm not innocent by any means, so I tried some of my YouTube videos to be sounding more sensational than they are in reality. And there is stuff going on, there's stuff happening, but it's really not that big of a deal in my opinion most of the time. So I fall into the trap as well. I was thinking that the big cities are done, it's very dangerous to be there, to go around, and that Germany is done, or Germany is no more, blah, Sülz, yatta yatta yatta. But at the end of the day it isn't really a thing, because only you see like 2 to 3 little videos on the internet where someone is misbehaving. Nothing is gone, nothing is changing too much. And yeah, I got out I went out, I left the PC behind, got into the world, and would watch for myself. So some concentrated tomato puree in there. More is less, less is more. And now we are mixing it up. So that the onions and the garlic is covered, and we will let it sit for a little bit more till everything turns oily. So yeah, I went outside and looked for myself, was in the big city, and there was really nothing bad going on or evil. So people were for real just friendly. So I made this video about wanted to visit little Japan or little Tokyo, but plans changed. So what basically happened was I was doing the stuff I wanted to do. Everything was quite fine and dandy, nice and dandy. So not really any unusual things were happening. There were only, in my opinion, more police cars around than I am used to. But like I said, I really don't have too much to do with all that police kind of stuff, especially here in my little town. There is not really too much going on that the police has to be around all the time. But people were fine and nice. It was just a lively day, lovely day, good weather, and I talked to a dude. So I was, at one point I was just, is it good? It looks good. Okay, so now we will dump all of the tomato sauce in here. Mix it all up. And now we put some oregano in there for the Italian flavor. And all of that is happening on medium heat. I forgot to talk about that. But yeah, just put it in there, and now we mix it up. And now we wait till it's boiling, start to bubble, and then we will turn down the heat. So yeah, I was visiting little Tokyo here in Germany, in Düsseldorf, and everything was nice, everything was fine. I really didn't felt unsafe. There was more police around than I'm used to, and at the end of the day, I had a good time. I had a really good time. I was sitting at a park and was eating a little bit between my filming, and a dude approached me. So I was just chatting with him about life and stuff. Was really a nice conversation. was a stranger to me. I don't know who the dude is. Never saw him before, but we just chatted up. We had a good time together. Talked a bit about life, and he basically told me that there were protests going on, so that there will be some people who will protesting against something. I think it was Palestine stuff. They wanted to protest, but that's at the end of the day a normal thing here in Germany. So we have these weekend protests in every big city always, but I can't remember that they get violent or stuff like that. So it was quite normal, but there wasn't really anything about societies done or the bad things I would see on the internet. And I think it gets quite out of hand in my opinion on some occasions or at the moment, that you get to this clickbaity titles and make out of a mosquito you make an elephant, so that there's really nothing too much going on, but because it get clicked and it's part of the internet culture as well, you just will things worse than they are in reality, and I think that's really just stupid. So basically you make reality worse than it is and make life for yourself harder, so that you won't go out to anyone you have bad opinions about stuff, and it really is a shame, to be honest. So I really think that sensationalism overall gets a little bit out of hand, and people should stop clicking the the over the top, or let's say people should be more aware about clickbait stuff and reality in itself, because stuff is always changing. Not everything is going on is going how it should go, but at the end of the day it was always the same. So there was never the world didn't stop turning, so it goes round and round and round. There is sometimes bad stuff happening, but it's not the norm. So most of this time life is just boring and normal, and I can understand that we all look for the sensation, for something to tell, but at the end of the day most of life is just a boring thing to do, and you need to get used to it. That's one thing I learned in this whole minimalism journey as well, that you have to stop chasing attractions and sensations and the dopamine hits you get with it, that you just accept life as it is and make the best out of it. And don't turn on each other because your opinion was made over the internet from some video. You have to get out there and make your own opinion about stuff, and when you don't experience it yourself, you basically don't have an opinion on things. So that was one thing I learned over the years since I'm on my minimalistic journey, that for real I can't have an opinion on things when I didn't experience it. So that's about it. So it's now boiling, it's now bubbling. So now we turn down the heat to low as possible, and this will sit for around about an hour. So let it just sit on low heat for an hour, so everything so everything gets to know each other, so that the onions and the garlic will become one with the tomato sauce, and there will be some liquids evaporating, so it gets a bit of thickness to it, but just let it sit, and once in a while you will stir it so nothing burns on the bottom. And yeah, the longer the better, but for me 1 hour is enough, and we will be back in 1 hour. So Squidward voice 1 hour later. So we are back. So I already turned down the heat, and now I'm just jarring the whole stuff up in this mason jar. Let me check the frame. Yeah, looks good. So yeah, just put it in here. It's an ordinary spoon. So, and we are done. Let's put that aside, so let it sit here. And now we have one half of a jar full of pizza sauce. So just let it cool down. Don't put a lid on there immediately. And after that, you can store it. After that, you can store it for about 1 week in the fridge. This amount serves for 3 pizzas. So yeah, a really nice thing to have, and it tastes very good. So yeah, that's it with the pizza sauce. And just about sensationalism once more again, some final words. It's okay to don't have an opinion on everything, and don't believe everything you see online. So especially short form content, you really can't get any information out of a 30-second video. So don't believe what you see. Most of the time it's just overhyped. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Comment down below when you want to see the whole process for based pizza, not only the sauce. And stay safe and peace. See ya.